Right now, it costs the country about $200 billion simply to care for those people who do have the disease, and that number is going up every year.
We're trying to understand the nature of the biology of what's going wrong so that we can help other scientists around the world to develop drugs to correct that.
1 out of 3 people say they have it in their family.
We've actually shot ourselves in the leg. What I mean that we have better health, we live longer, so we get aging diseases.
The impact on families is extraordinary.
People start developing the disease 20, maybe even 30 years before they actually lose their minds at age 76.
There are kids now caring for their grandparents.
It takes about $1.2 billion to $1.5 billion to develop a drug.
You just think to yourself, you know, we're either going to have defense or we're going to have care for Alzheimer's. That's an intolerable and unacceptable choice. But we haven't got that much time. This is a matter of urgency. This is a matter where we ought to be getting angry at the powers that be.
The rate of use is increasing. The trends are illicit drug use in the boomer and the older adult population is increasing more than 300%.
Wow.
Over a 10-year period. Yes, there's an alarming trend in suburbia. It used to be more of an inner city problem, but it has moved to the suburbs, and not only suburbs in metropolitan areas, but even rural areas as well. While withdrawal, which is the physiological effect that a person has when the physical craving comes for alcohol or prescription drugs, well, the withdrawal from opiates or benzos, why it can be very uncomfortable, withdrawal from alcohol can be fatal.
We as a nation are at a critical turning point. I think many people are beginning to realize that today's retirement is not the same as the one that their parents or grandparents went through. With a reverse mortgage, what you do is you tap that equity that you've built up, and essentially the bank pays you a certain amount each month. It is a loan that's designed for seniors, so all the borrowers who are entitled to the home have to be 62 years and older. If for some reason the value of the house declines or the value of the loan is bigger than the value of the house when it comes time to sell it, it means that nobody has to dip into their pocket to make up that difference. Although the chances of foreclosure are minimal with a reverse mortgage because you're not making those monthly payments, so you can't miss a payment, if you will.
Right.
So they can't foreclose on you for that reason. But if you don't fulfill your borrower obligations, you will go into default and you could face foreclosure.
The idea of going to a nursing home or an old age home just horrifies me. I'm going to stay right here as long as I can.
Certified Aging in Place Specialist, and it's a program that was developed as a partnership by the National Association of Home Builders and the AARP.
What kind of training does a person get before they can put those initials on their business card?
Mainly, I really think it's getting a person up to speed on what the needs of the elderly are. 89% of people polled from the AARP study of 2005 asked if they favor aging in place over institutional living. And these are people 45 years and older. And the overwhelming majority, 89%, favor aging in place. Most of us favor aging in place. We want to stay in our homes as we get older.
What we're talking about more is how the housing matches the actual needs of the residents. So we were younger when the housing stock was built. So there's a phrase, aging in Peter Pan housing, right? It was housing for people who weren't going to grow old, because 40 years ago, we didn't grow old. You know, we ran out of money and then we died. It was sort of conveniently around 70 or something, even 40 years ago. So now that people are living longer, the question is the house a good place for them? Has it been prepared for them? Our houses help us adapt the environment.
And you're with us today to show us how to maintain our vitality and how we can get down and get up, right?
Absolutely. It's really important because as we age, we want to retain as much independence as possible. We want to be able to have the freedom to do the activities that we want to do. If we want to just be able to maintain using our homes to the fullest extent possible and to do the activities that we have enjoyed all our lives. They might say, oh, well, I'm over 80, so of course I can't do that. Where there might be someone who's 91 who just did it. There's two main categories of exercise that you need to be knowledgeable about, and one is strengthening your muscles, and the second is the mobility and flexibility of your joints. Because when you're younger and you're getting on the floor and getting off again, you're not really thinking about it. Your body just can naturally go through these movements. And as we get older, if we're not using these movements as often, we might have to think more and break the steps down. But it's not just our leg muscles, although that's the primary thing, but there's also the ankle joint mobility, for instance, and knee mobility and hip mobility, and even upper body strength. Because you're not getting up without any use of your arms at all. You're going to be using your upper body strength as well. So it's staying strong and staying flexible.
Death and loss is really a huge transition period in people's lives. And as a bereavement coordinator, I can even help families ahead of time start preparing for a death in their family and do some anticipatory grief work. So there can be good grief, and there can be good times and good memories after somebody who you love dies. There can be bad grief. People can feel maybe guilty about things that they didn't get to say, things that they didn't get to communicate with the person. I really try to help them normalize their feelings and let them know that no matter what they're feeling, it's okay, and that you need to find time to grieve, whether it's openly or quietly by yourself in private, and that crying and expressing these emotions can be very healthy.
Our guest is Dr. Terry Orbuck. You are a renowned author of Finding Love Again.
I think it's great because it's based on real people and following these people for such a long period of time that when people read it, they can really see themselves in the book. Yes, I think there really is a process. It isn't that individuals are just going out there and dating again, because then they're not as successful in finding new love. But if you can first sit back and really start the process from the inside out. So the book is based on first looking at your attitudes, then your emotions, then your behaviors, then your sense of self. And when you've done all of that, then you can get out there and date again.